Hello, my name is Thomas, and I am nervous about doing this, but I am going to do it anyway. I'm not with the church now, but I grew up with Eastern Avenue Christian Reformed Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan, went to Oakdale Christian High. My dad taught at Calvin. I was deeply religious. I got to spend a week in silence at Thésée, a monastery in the south of France, when I was in high school. This painting actually is from Brother Eric, one of the monks there. I'm doing this video because I tried to talk to the committee that was putting the report together for Synod on trans folks, LGBTQ++ folks, and they didn't believe me about who I am. And I'm hoping that you might. They think that I'm actually a woman, although a delusional one. But actually, I'm not a woman. I was assigned female at birth, but I'm not a woman. I'm a trans man. But I wouldn't be if I'd had the conversations with them 10 years ago when I was deciding whether or not to transition. At that time, I was choosing between two options. The first option was starting testosterone. The second option was killing myself. And that's not that uncommon for trans people. The rates of suicide are so high because it's really freaking hard to figure out. And there's a lot of negative messages that come in. I couldn't bear the thought of hurting my family in that way, but I also couldn't bear to continue living as I was, so I started testosterone on November 14th, 2010, and I'm very, very glad that I did. I know it's not the right answer for everybody, I absolutely know that, but for me, it was the right answer, and I would not be here today if I had not had access to that medication. When I was in 4th grade at Oakdale Christian, about halfway through the year, started off the year with pigtails. Hard to imagine now, but pigtails every morning, my mom would braid them. And about halfway through the year, I convinced them to let me chop all my hair off in a boy's haircut, got some new clothes, and ended up looking, I've got a picture. This picture makes me very happy. It's with my dad at Lake Michigan. I was happy in that moment. But it was challenging. I looked like a boy, and that was hard for people. I had a really difficult moment in Studio 28, the movie theater in Grand Rapids, or a movie theater in Grand Rapids, in the women's restroom. That didn't go very well. The harder than that was losing the few friends that I did have. My best friend was a nerd like me, and we would go to Spectrum together on Wednesdays to learn about science, and my dad was teaching both of us ancient Greek, and we would have sleepovers and lie in bed and wait for the digital clock to turn to 10:10 or 11:12. And I have a very clear memory of her coming up to me in the hallway by the stairs outside Mr. Ippel's classroom and saying she'd known people were saying that I looked like a boy, but she hadn't really believed it before, but now she saw it. And that was her way of telling me that we weren't really going to be friends anymore. So I was kind of on my own after that for a while, and until towards the end of 5th grade, a group of girls came up to me. Again, I have a strong place memory of this, sitting on the stoop outside of Oakdale alone at recess. And they came up to me and they asked if I wanted to be a real girl. And if I did, I needed to grow my hair out, start bringing a hairbrush to school and brushing my hair a lot, keeping it in my locker. I needed to go shopping with them to buy some pink clothes and get my ears pierced. So I did. I learned that lesson that to have any even halfway sense of belonging, you have to give up at least part of who you are. So I did that for a long time. I was deeply repressed, and I relied completely on praise and affection from the outside, and I would do whatever it took to get that praise and affection. So I even dropped out of college because my boyfriend at the time, it's a very unhealthy relationship, made me choose between school and him. And I chose him, of course. So, I've got things sorted now, mostly. I eventually went back to school. I got my master's in biology. I've got a good job. I have a loving partner. I've got a loving home in Northern California. I was lucky. And I had a lot of support from my family and the community that I built, or was built around me here in Northern California. It's possible to be trans and to be happy, to actually be who you are in the world and figure it out as you go and have friends and family and community and a place that you love. I know it's scary, I know it's different, but it's possible. And I just hope that the kids growing up in the church now will get a chance. Please believe these kids about who they are. And don't tell them they're wrong or they're bad. They're gonna get that message enough. I know the committee thinks that they are the ones protecting the children. I know they genuinely believe that. But I know from my own experience that they're wrong. This human sexuality report says that trans people should be discouraged from living as their true gender. It even says that people who have transitioned, like me, should de-transition. But I couldn't live like I was. If I had followed the dangerous and ill-informed recommendations of this report, I wouldn't be here now. If you follow their advice and let that report become the church policy on gender identity, more of these kids are going to hurt themselves, either physically or emotionally. Like I did, I stuffed who I was so deeply inside for 30 years, and okay, I'm doing well now, great. But I hurt people along the way. My transition has been a blessing for me and for my family. And I hope that you'll consider believing me. Thank you for watching.